Hey, welcome back to the cabin. Glad to see you. Having a cup of coffee. Drizzly day out again. We haven't had a good weekend for several weeks. Calling for rain all day tomorrow up here at the cabin. But we're getting a few things done, a few things accomplished. I'm going to be working on the mineral licks this weekend, get them ready to go for the summer. Some of you watched, I have my own remedy, my makeup for my own mineral licks, so look back in my videos, you can find it. But something I want to bring up, got out and about, and oak trees are done pollinating. And these are catkins, C-A-T-K-I-N-S, catkins. This is the male part flower of an oak tree. And in the previous years, last couple of years, I've been keeping track of them. And usually per pod, 4 to 6 of them catkins per pod. But this year, I noticed they're pretty heavy. They're up to like 6 to 10 catkins on per pod. And the petals, which is the female part of an oak tree. An oak tree is both female and male. You can have one oak tree to pollinate itself. But the petals too, usually I see 2 to 4 petals. And this year I'm noticing up to 6. So, I'm not sure what that means, but we're going to find out this fall. And that's a myth. That's a myth I'm wanting to put to sleep. Every oak tree puts on acorns every year. And there's a myth out there going around that oak trees only put on acorns every 3 years or every 5 years, etc. No. An oak tree puts on acorns every year. Now, depending on nature now, on poor pollination, such as heavy rains right now during the time of pollination, can give it poor pollination. Or low temperatures, or frost or a freeze can change the pollination. But every year an oak tree does pollinate and have an average acorn every year. Now every 2 to 5 years, which they do not know, or the reason why, but every 2 to 5 years it'll have a bumper crop. It'll have a major acorn crop. Now maybe this year could be for me. I'm noticing that the catkins, quite a few of them this year per bunch, up to 10. Previous years, only 6. And the petals, the same thing. Usually 2 to 3. I got 4 to 6. So maybe this is a year. But there again, if you're not in the woods during the spring, during this time of pollination of your oak trees, how would you know? How can you tell? So if I'm on to something here, and I can have a good crop of acorns this year, maybe I'm on to something. Maybe in the spring I could say, hey, this ridge here, it had good pollination. It reached this many catkins and this many petals, and this would be the ridge to be on. Because see, that's that's the whole thing about hunting oaks. And if you have a good oak crop, especially white oaks, you have a good white oak crop, early deer season, you want to be in that area. Not in it, but before it or after it, when the deer are coming into it or the deer are leaving it. And knowing this, you have to be in the woods. But this is just something I'm wanting to put to sleep. That acorn trees only have acorns every 3 years or every 5 years. That myth, I'm going to put to sleep on this video, because no, they have acorns every year. And then every 2 to 5 years they have a bumper crop of acorns. So I'm just bringing this along, rainy day, and going to drink me a cup of coffee, and I'm just going to set it out and see what happens tomorrow. And I'll bring you along. Like I say, you're in the woods, be safe. You'd rather be safe than sorry. And go ahead and subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. And we'll see you again.